Hello, this is Kelly Kleiman, and you are listening to the DealershipNews.com podcast, where we spotlight the who's happening in the automotive industry. It's foot soldiers, visionaries, salesmen, GMs, owners, service managers, and industry vendors alike. Our guest today is the man behind Max Digital, one of the most robust and trusted vendors in the automotive digital retailing space. He is a Marine Corps veteran, thank you for your service, and he is Max Digital's EVP, Executive Vice President, Mr. Mike Cavanaugh. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks for having me on. I'm always excited to talk about what Max Digital is doing for dealers out there.
Well, I always like to ask each of our guests how they got into the automotive industry to begin with. Was it a lifelong interest, or did it somehow find you?
I started in the car business as a very young man, working with my dad at a dealership in Detroit, and I took a short break to join the Marine Corps, spent some time in Iraq, and quickly decided that I'd much rather be back in the car business again. And I've been in the car business ever since. I've spent time in dealerships, at finance companies, technology companies. Very recently I was the chief operating officer of a 28-store dealership group. And I've had a passion for the industry my entire life. And right now I'm really enjoying helping dealers solve some really unique problems when it comes to, really connecting with the customer online and helping them get as far as they can through the process prior to coming into the store to take delivery.
Let's start off with how Max Digital streamlines the automotive sales process and the wisdom behind it.
So Max Digital has been working a lot with streamlining the sales process, and we start off by doing this a couple ways. And you've heard me mention before that we try to answer the consumer's question, is this the right vehicle for me, first and foremost? And I think with a lot of the digital retailing that's going on right now, the buzz is all about buy now, and how do I click a button and buy the vehicle now? But what I believe is neglected more than anything is to help actually answer the consumer's question is this the right vehicle for me? So first and foremost, we help consumers do that by, again, looking at the pricing proof points, highlighting the features and options that are on that car correctly, and actually connecting a dollar amount. What was the MSRP of that package, and how high value of a package really is that on that vehicle, and how does that affect the overall price of the vehicle? So we start with that. Next, our tool Digital Showroom helps create instant product experts, and whether that's in the BDC or whether that's on the showroom floor with the salespeople, we have a tool that helps anybody, even if they're a brand new salesperson. If they can use our Digital Showroom tool, which is a super easy tool, they can be an instant product expert. They can speak to how that vehicle is priced according to the market. They can show the customer relevant examples right on the tool. They can do the pricing comparisons. They can walk through the features and the options. They can speak intelligently to, why buy from that vehicle? What is their brand promise? They can speak to the CPO program. The Carfax is available right there on a pre-owned vehicle, so that they can intelligently go over that information with the customer as well. And then our most recent tool that we're really excited about, and a lot of our dealers are excited about, is a tool called Max My Trade. And Max My Trade is a collaborative tool between the salesperson and the consumer that allows the consumer to feel like they're in a lot more control of the trade appraisal process with their vehicle. Because let's face it, that is actually the part of the transaction where the consumer is completely in control of deciding, do I want to sell you this vehicle or not, as part of the transaction of potentially buying a vehicle from you. So the tool is great. It really allows the consumer to go through and rate their vehicle on a scale from 1 to 10. They can take a look at their exterior, their interior, the tires, the brakes. It's all customizable to what the dealer wants to ask, but it helps the customer go through and assign a rating to different aspects of their car. And then when they're done, it comes up with an overall rating. So let's just say that the customer had a rating of an 8 out of 10 for their vehicle overall, and that then they're presented with an overview of, here's the book values on the car. Here's NADA, here's Kelly Blue Book. Mr. Customer, you rated your car an 8 out of 10, so NADA says that your vehicle is worth $10,000. You rated it an 8 out of 10, so 80% of that would be $8,000. And that makes the consumer feel like they were in control of assigning that value to their vehicle. They have a lot of insight behind it. They have some pricing proof points to help them understand why it was priced as it is. And it's led to dealers being able to take in inventory for further back a book than they were historically. And it also allows consumers to feel a lot better about the sales process, which leads to improved customer satisfaction as well. So consumers and dealers alike, both are excited about the tool.
What would your 30-second elevator pitch sound like if you were trapped on the 20th floor of the Empire State Building with, let's say, the president of Honda?
I hope that never happens, but I will tell you this. So at Max Digital, we have a passion for really stopping the trend of margin erosion on the new car and the used car side of the business right now. And we really want to help bring profitability back to dealerships one car at a time. And we do that through decommoditizing each and every vehicle that a dealer has in inventory. And we help it stand out by really an elaborate and robust data set when it comes to not only market data, but also very vehicle specific data. So we can help you highlight why that vehicle that you're selling is unique from the other similar vehicles that are out there, and why the price that you've priced it at is a fair price and doesn't require any additional discounts. And that is one thing that we do better than anybody else in the industry right now. And some of the largest dealer groups in the country have road tested us and against some of our biggest competitors, and we've won. And they'll speak to that as well.
In regards to inventory management and overall user experience, what sets you apart from your main competitor from a price validation and actionable market data standpoint?
When it comes to what sets us apart from the competition, there's a few things that really do set us apart. And one is we have a very robust data set when it comes to market data, and we have among the best data in the industry when it comes to vehicle package data. So not only do we talk to dealers about how good our data is, but we also help them not only sell their vehicles based on price in the market, but hold their gross. And that's what sets us apart. Is you need to price to market right now. You don't have to be the cheapest price in the market, but you have to be a fair price, and you have to be able to justify that. And we do that through helping the dealers merchandise those vehicles as well. So they look at a good, robust data set. They can take their vehicles in better when they're appraising them. They can price their vehicles very accurately when they price them online. And then when it comes to the consumer shopping their vehicles, when you're properly merchandised, the consumer is making a comparison, and when they see those high value packages and options that they may not see at another dealer, you're going to look more favorably. Then when they come into the store, you avoid the double discount. And the double discount is really when a consumer comes into the store and they've already came in because you have the best price. Now they want to negotiate further, and they only negotiate further when there's an absence of value. So you create value by providing them the details of those packages and those options. For instance, if somebody's looking at a BMW 535 Xi, they may be comparing to one down the street and say, well, I found this one for $500 less down the street. I think I might buy it from them. You can say, well, let's look at the data on this vehicle and see if you're comparing apples to apples. And you can see that this vehicle also had a cold weather package, and the cold weather package is typically another $3,600 when you buy this vehicle brand new. So if that other vehicle doesn't have that, I can see why it's priced less, but that doesn't mean that you're comparing apples to apples. And that really helps through the negotiation process with the consumer as well. So we provide a whole set of tools that helps with this process. So it's not just about pricing to market, but it's about holding your gross once you've priced to market as well.
When one of your team approaches a dealership, what does the Max Digital checklist look like when assessing that dealership's needs?
So that's a great question. We take a look at dealerships' needs before we even engage a dealership. Before we walk into a dealer, we assess, can we help this dealer with something? We don't go out trying to pitch dealers products or get 30 minutes of somebody's time to tell them what we do. We like to take a look online first at their online presence, specifically with their vehicles. Not only the vehicles' descriptions, because we do automate the description writing for vehicles, but we also look at how are they highlighting the specific packages and options on their vehicles, and do they really make a point of providing a great description of those high value packages and options and how they make that vehicle unique. So we'll take a look at their online presence with that, and we'll also take a look, especially with groups, on their technology spend. And one of the things that we found over time working with some of the largest dealer groups in the country is that we can save dealers, and many times in the six-figure range, when it comes to their software expense for things like pricing and appraising their inventory, syndication to their website and to third-party sites. And not only can we provide them with tools that are as good or better in many cases, but we can also save them a ton of money. So we like to talk to our dealers about what are they spending on their software expenses on a monthly basis as well. We also take a look at pricing proof points. So when a dealership is looking to merchandise or market their vehicle online, do they make comparisons with the market? How far below market is that vehicle priced, or how is it priced in relationship to NADA, Kelley Blue Book, things like that? We help dealers merchandise their vehicles and highlight those pricing proof points that are important to consumers that ultimately help the consumer decide, is this the right vehicle for me? So that's what we look at when we're going to assess a dealership's needs before we go in.
Mike Cavanaugh, Executive Vice President of Max Digital, I want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Kelly, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's always great to talk to you guys.
And that'll do it. This is Kelly Kleinman, DealershipNews.com's podcast. Automotive news you can use. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back soon.